Part 1. The Awakening and the Declaration of War. When a highly sensitive individual, specifically one identified as an empath, finally decodes the manipulative architecture of a narcissist, they cross a psychological Rubicon. This is far more than a moment of simple recognition. It is an unspoken declaration of war, though initially, only one side realizes the battle has commenced. The true peril lies not in your discovery of the truth, but in the narcissist's realization that you have seen it. This awareness detonates a concealed, immediate, and catastrophic reaction often ignored in general discourse. What is this hidden signal? It is never an apology, nor is it a respectful exit. The signal is the rapid implosion of their false persona, instantly followed by a meticulously calculated preemptive strike against your sanity. You must understand that the narcissist's existence depends entirely on a fabricated image, a persona requiring absolute external validation and compliance. When your insight pierces that fragile construct, they do not view you as a partner leaving, they view you as a mirror shattering. Instinctively, they scramble to silence the person holding the sharpest shard of glass. This is a violent collision with the unconscious, a concept Carl Jung defined as the abrupt confrontation with repressed reality. However, in this dynamic, it is the narcissist's repressed, insecure self that is exposed to their own psyche, and you are the trigger. We must dissect the narcissist's core fragility. They lack a stable internal sense of worth. Instead, they run on narcissistic supply, external energy, adulation, fear, or even conflict, fed to their false self. Your realization severs that supply line. In this moment, they do not feel remorse. They suffer a narcissistic injury, a wound perceived as existential annihilation. Part 2. The Extinction Burst and the Smear Campaign. To them, this is a primal threat. The resulting hidden signal is a desperate panic defense deployed for survival. It manifests as a radical, disorienting shift in strategy. For the duration of the relationship, they utilized a standard arsenal: gaslighting, silent treatments, and triangulation. But once they confirm your awareness, those tactics are deemed insufficient. They initiate an extinction burst, a behavioral psychology term describing a drastic, aggressive spike in behavior immediately before it ends. They double down not because they are succeeding, but because their standard manipulations are failing. The first and most lethal component of this burst is the smear campaign. This is not mere gossip, it is the strategic demolition of your reputation. Before you can voice the truth, the narcissist has already inoculated their network, people who function as secondary supply, against you. They paint you as the villain, the unstable aggressor, or the mentally unhinged partner. The signal is hidden because you rarely hear it directly. You feel it in the chilling withdrawal of friends and family who suddenly view you with suspicion or pity. This is a preemptive strike against your support system. By severing your connection to external reality checks, they render you vulnerable to their final, most potent lie, that you are the problem. Part 3. Devaluation and Projection. The second component is rapid, intense devaluation. Previously, the narcissist may have feigned high regard to keep you compliant. Now, the mask disintegrates. They launch brutal personal attacks designed to inflict maximum psychological damage, targeting insecurities they catalogued during the love-bombing phase. This is not random anger, it is a strategic operation to destabilize your self-worth. If they can convince you that you are fundamentally flawed, you may revert to the role of the dutiful, self-sacrificing supplier, begging for approval. The signal here is disproportionate cruelty, a shift from criticism to psychological violence. When you witness this viciousness, recognize that it is driven by their fear, not their power. It confirms they know you are slipping away. This extinction burst demands an immediate response. While others speak of boundaries, this stage requires a surgical implementation of psychological sovereignty. This means claiming ownership of your reality, independent of the narcissist's narrative. To ignore this signal is to allow the smear campaign and devaluation to infect your mind. You must understand the mechanism of projection. As Jung noted, the narcissist cannot tolerate their own internal defects, their insecurity, lack of empathy, and parasitic nature. Therefore, they involuntarily eject these traits onto you. You become the screen upon which they project their own wickedness. When they call you crazy, abusive, or obsessed, you are hearing a verbatim description of their own internal state. The intensity of their rage is your evidence. You are witnessing their psychological breakdown, not your failure. Part 4. The Sovereign's Code, External Defenses. To neutralize this, we move from analysis to action using the Sovereign's Code, an 8-part counter-strategy. Code Element 1. The Principle of Non-Engagement, No Contact Amplified. When the hidden signal appears, your fastest response is absolute silence. Stop explaining. Stop reacting. Their attacks are designed to harvest emotional supply. Every defense you offer is a victory for them. No contact is the surgical blade that severs the supply line. This must be amplified. Block them everywhere, mute mutual contacts, and treat any communication as a biohazard. Do not explain this. Silence is the ultimate boundary. Code element 2, the principle of documentation, the irrefutable record. The narcissist thrives in ambiguity. You must create an objective, emotionless record of events, dates, times, and verbatim quotes. This is the antidote to gaslighting. This record is for you, your therapist, or your legal counsel, never for the narcissist. Writing down the facts anchors your reality and prevents manipulation. When they deny events later, you consult your record and reaffirm your truth internally. Code element 3, the principle of preemptive credibility, inoculation. The smear campaign works in the dark. You must inoculate key figures in your life before the lies reach them. Do this with finesse, not trauma dumping. Simply state, I am ending a relationship where the other party is displaying highly unstable behavior. If you hear anything bizarre, please know it is their coping mechanism for losing control. You are labeling their behavior before they can label yours, establishing sovereignty within your social sphere. Code element 4, the principle of reclaimed emotion, integration of the shadow. The sensitive soul often represses rage. The narcissist expects you to feel sadness or guilt. The act-fast response is to reclaim your rage. This is not weakness, it is the fuel for boundary setting. Do not direct this rage at them, direct it inward to power your escape and fortify your no contact. This shifts you from victim consciousness to sovereign consciousness. Part 5, the Sovereign's Code, internal reconstruction. The narcissist's chaos is designed to trigger self-doubt. The next elements address your internal warfare. Code element 5, the principle of radical reparenting, healing the inner child. The root of your sensitivity often lies in childhood conditioning where you prioritized others' needs. The narcissist exploits this wounded inner child who fears abandonment. You must step in as the protective adult, affirming, I am safe. I will not abandon myself for another's comfort. You create an internal boundary that toxicity cannot breach. Code element 6, the principle of sacred selfishness, reclaiming energy. In the relationship, your energy flowed outward to fill the narcissist's void. Attempts to meet your own needs were labeled selfish. Sacred selfishness is the conscious redirection of that energy back into your own vessel. It is differentiated compassion, feeling for another without assuming responsibility for them. Schedule your replenishment, solitude, rest, creativity, and protect it fiercely. Self-care is the strategic maintenance of your psychological shield. Code element 7, the principle of authenticity over approval, the death of the persona. The narcissist relies on your nice persona. When they apply social pressure, everyone is worried about you, you must dismantle that mask. Choose authenticity over approval. Accept that you will disappoint those who only valued your compliance. When manipulated, simply state your truth, that no longer works for me. No apologies. No explanations. You must become unappealing to those who feed on your submission. Code element 8, the principle of preemptive strategy, hoovering anticipation. The extinction burst is often followed by hoovering, attempts to suck you back in via flattery or crisis. You must anticipate this. Script your mental response, I see you, but I do not require you. Remove physical triggers or memories that could serve as bait. By preparing for the lure, you neutralize its power and end the cycle of abuse. Part 6, the transformation to differentiated consciousness. Integrating these principles shifts you from a survivor to a conscious agent of individuation. This effectively transforms the narcissist's attack into fuel for your evolution. You enter a state of differentiated consciousness. Previously, the wounded empath operated on unconscious absorption, acting as an emotional sponge for the narcissist's toxic waste. This manifested physically as chronic exhaustion and inflammation, the body serving as a landfill for another's emotions. The conscious sovereign, however, feels everything but absorbs nothing. You retain your intuition and ability to read the room, but you possess a filter. You observe manipulation without integrating it into your nervous system. This shift may initially feel like a night sea journey, a profound loneliness as you learn emotional self-sufficiency. This is not failure, it is the necessary solitude required to meet your authentic self. Relationships based on your compliance will fade, leaving only bonds rooted in mutual respect. Physically, as you stop processing external toxicity, your body heals. Sleep deepens, and the nervous system finds repose. This biological restoration is proof that your boundaries are imperative for survival. Part 7. The Final Victory, From Compulsion to Choice. Your intuition, once clouded by fear and hope, becomes sharp and accurate. You see their tactics with clarity and respond with strategic indifference. You embody the paradox of the sovereign, simultaneously the most compassionate and the most fiercely protected version of yourself. Your compassion is reserved for those who honor you. Your protection is absolute. The narcissist's hidden signal was the catalyst for this self-actualization. You have moved from a life of compulsion to a life of choice. Your freedom is not defined by their absence, but by your internal liberation from their influence. The ultimate goal is authentic service. You no longer rescue others to prove your value, you model psychological wholeness. You offer presence from a place of abundance, not depletion. The greatest gift of this painful struggle is the realization of your power. Your sensitivity is not a defect, it is a governed instrument. To seal this reality, internalize these final affirmations. My worth is inherent, not earned through sacrifice. Their emotional state is not my assignment. My boundaries are acts of self-respect. I give from my overflow, never from my reserves. I choose authenticity over approval. My internal truth is stronger than their projected lies. The narcissist's extinction burst, that final, desperate smear, was not the end of you. It was the sound of your psychological birth. The old self has died, the sovereign has risen. You are not merely surviving, you are emerging transformed, whole, and fully conscious. You are the living proof that the one who chooses truth over the illusion of peace wins the deepest battle of all, the battle for the self. Let this be your enduring commitment to your own wholeness.